As of June 1st, 2025, each ninja has now officially gotten a large mech, or Titan mech. Technically, Nia's and Kai's aren't classified as Titan mechs, but I'm including them in this comparison to boost it up a little, because I think 6 sets compared to 4 sets will be a lot more fun. Hey guys, it's JimBlade8304 here, and today we are doing the Ninja's biggest mech comparison. On the far left, we have 70676 Lloyd's Titan mech, released in summer of 2019. Then we have Zane's Titan mech battle, released in winter of 2021. Nia's Samurai X mech, released in summer of 2022. Jay's Titan mech, released in winter of 2023. Cole's Titan Dragon mech, released in summer of 2024. And the newest addition is the Fire Knight mech, released in summer 2025. We're going to be taking a look at the categories of value, minifigs, design, playability, overall looks, and final opinion. And then I'm going to total them up for the final score to see which one of these sets is the best. Let me know what your favorite of these sets is in the comment section down below. With that being said, let's get started with our first category. Starting off with value for Lloyd's Titan mech, was released in 2019 in the summer with 876 pieces for $80, had 6 minifigs, 2 of which were exclusive, and that's 9.1 cents per piece for those who keep track. Moving to the right, we have Zane's Titan mech battle, released as a 10th anniversary set in winter 2021. 840 pieces, was $64.99, had 4 minifigs, 2 of which were exclusive, and the value there is 7.7 cents per piece. Nia's Samurai X mech was released in summer 2022 with 1,003 pieces for $120, 8 minifigs, 6 of which are exclusive to this set, and that's a value of 12 cents per piece. Our lone entry from the Ninjago core line is Jay's Titan mech, released in winter 2023, 794 pieces for $80, 6 minifigs, 1 of which is exclusive, and that's a value of 10.1 cents per piece. From Dragon's Rising Season 2, we have Cole's Titan Dragon mech, released in summer 2024 with 1,055 pieces for $100, 1 minifig being the mech pilot Cole, who is exclusive to the set, and that's valued 9.5 cents per piece. And lastly, our newest addition is the Fire Knight mech from Ninjago Legends Monstrosity, released in summer 2025 with 996 pieces for $120, 2 minifigs, both of which, as of right now, are still exclusive to the set, and 12 cents per piece. Dividing up the points for this category turned out to be a lot harder than I thought it would. I spent a couple minutes thinking about it, and the results I have are Lloyd's Titan mech gets 6 points, Zane's Titan mech battle gets 5, Nia's Samurai mech gets 3, Jay's Titan mech gets 4, Cole's Titan Dragon mech gets 2, and the Fire Knight mech down at the end gets 1 point. Moving on to the minifigs category, Lloyd's Titan mech has 6 minifigs, 2 of which are exclusive, those being this version of Lloyd with his hood, and Zane with his Forbidden Spinjitzu hood. I think these are pretty solid minifigs. I like the Blizzard Samurais. Unfortunately, they all use the same leg print, but they are a unique bunch. You get a swordsman, you get one of the archers, you get just a generic soldier, and you get General Vex in this set as well. In Zane's Titan mech battle, you get 4 minifigs. You get the Legacy Deepstone Zane, which is the only Legacy Deepstone figure we got for some reason. You get the 10th Anniversary Golden Jay figure, and you also get 2 Ghost Soul Archer and Gultar. Gultar and Zane are exclusive to this set. For Nia's Samurai X mech from Crystallized, you get 8 awesome-looking minifigs, 6 of which are exclusive. The 2 that are not is Jay in his golden armor suit, and the Vengestone Warrior. Pythor is exclusive to the set. He looks great. It's always good to see Pythor. You get a new version of Little Nelson and Master Wu, which I think looks great. Master Wu reuses the dragon armor from Hunted. Samurai X gets an updated look to represent Nia's new bright blue color scheme. You get the Oni Garmadon, which I think looks fantastic. The mechanic is here, different from his appearance in Ninjago City Gardens. And I think all of these minifigs look really, really good. In Jay's Titan mech, we get 6 minifigs. The only exclusive one is the Pixel Bot. The minifigs are fine. I don't like the core suits. I don't necessarily think these Bone Warriors are anything special. The lone figure for Cole's Titan Dragon mech is the mech pilot Cole, which is exclusive to the set as of when I'm recording this in summer 2025. I think this minifig looks really good. I love the recolor of that armor piece in orange. When Cole uses orange and black as a color combination, I think it works really well, and the white suit for him, I think, looks just really good in general, too. And for the Fire Knight mech, we get two minifigs. We get what the box calls them as Master of Fire and Fisherman. Technically, the Master of Fire, it's Kai's minifig. I like the dark red and gold suit. I think that looks really nice. This is from Legends Monstrosity, which we haven't seen yet as of when I'm recording this. And the Fisherman is something you would find in something like Ninjago City, the Docks, Gardens, something like that. Dividing up the points for the minifigs category was a lot easier than it was for value. I'm giving 6 points to Nia's Samurai X Mech. I think the figures here are just the best of all of these sets, and especially the amount of exclusive minifigs found in this set. 5 points is going to go down to Lloyd's Titan Mech. I like the Forbidden Spinjitzu Zane hood. We get 4 Blizzard Samurai, so it's nice for an army builder set if you want to buy more of these at the $80 price point. 4 points is going to go to Zane's Titan Mech Battle. I like the 10th Anniversary Golden J. I like the Legacy Deep Stone. For Zane, I like the 2 Ghosts included. I wish we would have gotten like one more regular ninja instead of having just Zane and Jay, who's not really meant to be fighting anything in the set because he's for the display for the 10th anniversary. Here's where it gets a little controversial. I have the Fire Knight Mech getting 3 points. I like the Kai minifig in this set. It's nice to see the Island Headband. I wish he would have gotten a new face print. That's something I mentioned in my Flaws of the Summer Sets short that I did. I think the Fisherman's a fine minifig. I like the sand green color, but more minifigs would have been better. Then I'm giving 2 points to the Titan Dragon Mech because I love the Cole Mech Pilot minifig. I think it's fantastic, and it's still exclusive to the set. I wish we would have gotten more minifigs, like some of the Wolf Clan Warriors would have been nice to get in the set, but only one minifig. That's why it has to only get 2 points. And getting the 1 point is Jay's Titan Mech. I don't like the core suits. That's no secret. I don't necessarily love the Bone Warriors. The Minifigs bot is fine. Moving on to the design category, this is the category I have the most to say about each of these sets. There's a lot of unique design choices that each mech doesn't do. Some of them follow a similar overall kind of design, but we're going to start with Lloyd's Titan Mech here. Starting down at the feet, I like the use of the white and gold color combination. I think it works really, really well. Then moving up to like the lower leg, I like the use of the Sensei Wu hat piece. I think that looks really nice. The sand green on the middle section of the mech looks fantastic overall. I really love that color. Something that we don't see too much in Ninjago. The Green Ninja Mech Dragon was the one who had the most sand green for a Ninjago set. I don't like the way this Technic pin just sticks out because it's not holding a sword. There's nothing else you can really give it unless you make another sword. But it's fine. I like the use of the Shuriken piece released in the Secrets of Forbidden Spinjitzu wave. I think that looks really nice. It uses these large wheel pieces for the elbows just to kind of cover up the Technic that would be there to connect it to the lower arm. Moving to the top, I like just the way this design comes together. I think it looks really nice. You get some printed tiles. You get, I believe, 8 of them in this set that have this little design that I'll kind of show you. This design right here, these are all printed. There's not too many stickers in this set, just the 2 at the feet. One for the Lloyd symbol here, and then a couple on the shoulder pads. I like the way the sword is built. I think that looks really nice. I like the blade piece used. I like the large green blade pieces that are used for dragon wings and stuff like that back in the early days in Ninjago. I like the use of the dragon hilt pieces up at the top of the head. I think the mech's head is built really nicely. Towards the back we have this little pod that can detach, and we'll get to that in the playability section. We have the spinner crown pieces that are reused in this, which I think look great as well. Overall, I think this set has a lot of good design. Moving on to Zane's Titan Mech Battle, I think this looks fine. I like the white and sand blue, and it mixed with dark gray. I like the gold detailing using the ingot pieces here at the middle section. I don't like the way that this stuff sticks out here so much. I think it's just unnecessary. The arms are built using a similar technique. I don't like this blade piece. I wish they would have given it an actual sword. But the thing this is based off didn't have an actual sword. It's trying to be a legacy replica of it, and I think it works fine. We get a recolor of the Shuriken piece here in silver. I think that looks good. I don't like the way the cockpit comes together here. I don't like these big pieces. They stick out too much. We'll talk more about that when we get to Jay's Titan mech. The spray-loaded shooters are fine. They don't take away anything from the build. I think they look fine there. If you want to remove them, you can. They don't hurt the build, I don't think. And you get this harpoon gun for the antenna for the Titan mech, and I think the head is probably the best part of this set. I like the color choices. I like the use of the azure color throughout it. I think that looks really good. Moving on to Nia's Samurai X mech, starting at the bottom. I like the black and gold combination for the bottom. It uses more of the azure towards the top, and then there is that little bit of red that kind of sticks out, like right here, but that's not too distracting. I think it's fine. I think red is a fine color to use in this set for something like that. I like the reuse of the Combat Craft cockpit piece, recolored in black and gold. I think that looks really nice there. I like the way the swords are built. They use these large pieces that could be used for dragon wings. I believe they were on Lloyd's Golden Ultra Dragon. Moving up, we get more of the azure color mixed in. I don't like this red X that's just standing out there. I think that's a bit bulky and unnecessary. It is show accurate. It doesn't mean that it's good. I didn't like that in the show. It just kind of makes it stand out too much. These shoulder pads up here are fine. They're not built using anything too incredibly advanced or special. Overall, there's not too much to say about this one in particular. I like the color choices. Moving on to Jay's Titan mech, we're going to start down at the feet again. It uses blue, white, and black as the main colors for it, and I think that looks fine. It has a lot of gold thrown into it, which again, looks really good. I love the way this sword is built. This is probably the best sword that we've ever seen for a Ninjago mech. I think this looks fantastic, using this blade piece again, using the shuriken piece, and then at the back it has this little pumpkin piece recolored in red with a little tassel. I think that looks really nice, and you also get two smaller swords that kind of just clip into Jay's belt, or the Titan mech's belt, I guess. Moving up, the arms, they are built differently. They have a little bit that sticks out past where the elbow joint connects. And that's fine. It doesn't necessarily look the greatest, but it's not like the worst thing included on a set. Moving to the top, we have these new cannon pieces. I believe they were introduced in 2023 or 2022. They were released fairly recently. I think they look too big and bulky. You could take them off, but then the mech just looks incomplete. I like the use of these blade pieces. LEGO finds a lot of uses for these in Ninjago sets, and I think it looks good. The cockpit uses this big piece that I mentioned on Zane's Titan mech, and it has a sticker on one side but not on the other, so not symmetrical. There's no super weird colors showing. There is a little windscreen for Jay. You can see that. I do want to turn this around because there is something on the back that I don't like about the design of this. I don't like this. I don't like the way this just kind of hangs off. Cole's Titan Dragon Mech might have the best design out of all of these. I love just the earthy feel to it with the gray and dark gray. At the bottom, you get the white, gold, black, and a little bit of orange there. Moving up, we have some pretty nice detailing around the legs. I think it looks really good. We have this massive sword piece that was used for the Dune Ornithopter that was released earlier the year that this came out. I think that looks really nice. It is a large sword. Moving up, we have a lot of nice detailing using the Nexo Knight shield piece. I think that looks really good. I love the white, orange, gold, black color combination. And then the dark gray fits in as well. You use some of the rock elements around the arms and the thigh. I think that looks really good. Moving towards the top, we have some stickers up here just for some small details, nothing too crazy. Then on the back, we have these large blade fan pieces. You can take that part off. We'll talk about that in the playability section. But overall, this set looks incredible. I think it might win this category. Then for the Fire Knight mech, this one is the weird one out of the bunch, I guess, because it's more of a display set and not a play set. We get the recolor of the dragon piece in pink. I think that looks really nice. The mech has this large spear thing, and I think that looks really good. It reuses those two blade pieces I mentioned earlier. We have this little boat on this platform. This platform is built on a 16x16 plate, similar to the Endgame dioramas or the ones from Marvel recently. Moving up, we have the tail pieces used for the tentacles of this creature. I don't know what this creature actually is. The eye pieces on this are printed. The other details around the bottom of it are stickers, unfortunately, but I do like the new printed element for that right there. Moving up the mech, we have the feet, which are built using black, dark red, regular red, and a little bit of gold, and I think that looks really nice. I love that color combination. I think that works really well here. I think I like the orange a little bit better. This does have a lot going on. You can see some weird, like, nougat colory thing, but that doesn't necessarily take away anything from the build. Like you would, if you're looking at it from afar, you wouldn't notice it's there. The cockpit, I think, looks really nice. The head is built well. I like the way it encloses it. It uses one of the Nexonite body pieces that they used for their mechs back when Nexonites was around. The head has this nice new like flame element, and I think that looks really cool. And something that none of the other mechs have is a cape. This mech has a cape, and I think the printing on it looks well. It does take up a lot of space. I don't necessarily know that I love it on the mech. I think if it wasn't supported by this piece, it would be fine. I think if it was just kind of free-flowing, it'd be a little bit better. But overall, I think this mech looks really good. So for the design category, the way I divvied out the parts here, I gave 6 points to the Titan Dragon mech. This thing looks absolutely incredible and is a must-get for any Cole fan or any Ninjago mech fan. 5 points is going to go to Lloyd's Titan mech. I think it looks incredible. It was the first one in this series, and it's probably the best set of the Secrets of Forbidden Spinjitzu wave. I think it just looks really good on display and while you're playing with it. 4 points goes to the Fire Knight mech. I love the display aspect of it, and I think that works really well for the design of it. We'll get into the playability of it in the next category, but I think 4 points for this is definitely fair. Then I gave 3 points to the Samurai X mech. I think it looks really nice. I love the color combination. The red X is the thing that sticks out the most to me, but even that's not that big of a deal. Like, it's kind of just there, and it is what it is. I gave 2 points to Jay's Titan mech, the set I actually like the least out of all of these. The blue and white combination works really well. I don't necessarily love the shoulder cannons on it, but they're fine. If you take them away, the mech looks even worse. And then getting 1 point is Zane's Titan mech battle. I just don't like the sharp angles of the upper body, and I think it just doesn't work. Moving on to the playability section, this I also have a lot to talk about with each set. Lloyd's Titan mech does offer a lot of articulation. It has ankle joints, you can move them. It has the illusion of having knee joints, and that is something I would have to knock it for in the playability section. You can move the arms and wrists, you can spin this little shuriken blade, I think that looks really nice there. You can move this arm as well. It has a lot of articulation points, you can move the legs in and out. Obviously, you can move them up and down. The cockpit for Lloyd is nothing crazy. There's a couple small printed control panels in there. The head is built really nicely. And on the back, you can take off this little jet flyer thing. This wasn't in the show, to my knowledge, but you can take this off and have this as a separate vehicle. It's fine. It has a couple spring-loaded shooters on there, so good playability, but there's nothing for them to really shoot at aside from the villains. There's no villain side build. But I think this does work really well, and it has overall a lot of nice articulation and playability. Zane's Titan mech introduces us the first Ninjago mech to have posable knee joints, and that is definitely a boost. The knee joints work very, very well. I really like the way that LEGO incorporated that into the design of this. I think it works really well. It has some slight ankle posability, nothing too crazy. The legs can move forward and back, and you can move them in and out. The arms are nothing crazy. There's a ball joint at the elbow. You can spin this little shuriken. This, you can move this up and down. I don't think you're really supposed to. Overall, a lot of nice things. It's pretty much the same on the other side. Inside the cockpit, you can put your Zane minifig in there. You do get a couple spring-loaded shooters. You can move them up and down as you will. You can't really turn them without taking them off and modifying it. And then on the other side, there is this blade which you can retract, I guess. You can open the hands to hold a minifig if you want. Overall, this set is fine. I like the inclusion of the knee joints, and that's something that's definitely going to give this a plus grade. Nia Samurai X mech. Let's start with the small side build. You get one of the crystal dragon beasts. That's nice to have extra playability, so you can have two people playing with the set at the same time. Something that some of these other sets don't have extra side builds. Jay's Titan mech is the only one that has like an actual playable side build. The Fire Knight mech is a display set. We'll get to that in a little bit. But as for Nia's mech, it looks really nice. There is knee posability here as well. Something done slightly differently in this one. It uses just 3 ball joints instead of the mixel ball joints. Ankles can move slightly. On the bottom, it is pretty stable. It uses these rubber pieces to keep it from like sliding or falling. I think that's really nice. You can move these in and out. You don't really want to because then it'll reveal a lot of ugly colors. You can move these like waist pieces around if you want. You can change the way the X is. You can have the X as like a full X, or you can have it bent the way it is in the show. The cockpit opens like that, and you can also fold this down like that to reveal the cockpit. It does only fit one minifig. It is kind of small, but Nia fits in there just fine, so nothing too terrible there. As for the arms, you get the two swords, one for each hand, something that's nice. There isn't really a place to put them if you don't want the swords in the mech. You just have to have them like lay around. Elbow posability, wrist posability, shoulder posability. These things can move around. They have spring-loaded shooters in them, something to fire at the dragon. You close the cockpit up, the head of the actual mech can move around. Overall, it looks really nice. There is a little bit on the back. You can see another couple of these like waist pieces. Overall, good playability, and it has a side build, so this might get the most points of this category. Moving over to Jay's Titan Mech, we also get another side build. We get this little turret thing. It's like a wagon cart. You can pull this white piece back and it'll fire one of these bolts out. Something we saw, this is very similar to the way it's used on the Warrior bike. So that's nice. You do get 4 of them. This only holds 3, unfortunately, unless you add like a bigger Technic piece in this spot right here. I think this is built fine. It doesn't take up too much of the piece count. Overall, nothing super crazy. As for the mech itself, it does also feature knee posability. Very nice ankle posability. Is there, you can display it how you want. On the bottom, it does have a couple of these rubber stoppers to stop it from sliding around or moving when you don't want it to. The mech's overall torso is leaning a little forward due to the way it's constructed. You have leg posability, like I mentioned. You can move the legs in and out and back and forth. Arms are, again, arms. You can move the hands around. You can move the elbows, shoulder posability, and then you also have these large turret things. You can take them off. You can angle them in different directions, but I think it looks even worse without them there. The cockpit is nice. You get a little spot for Jay in there, and it has this little windscreen, something none of the other mechs have. I don't know why this one specifically has a windscreen for it, but it's there. Cole's Titan Mech is the biggest of the bunch, but that doesn't limit its playability. If we bring it forward here, it does also have some nice knee and ankle posability. You can get some it also has some thigh posability. You can get the mech to pose in all kinds of different ways. The ankle posability is built slightly differently, similar to the Fire Knight mech. You can move these up and down to get different angles for the feet. We have a lot of parts that can just move freely. The elbows are built differently. You can move them. They have 2 different articulation points for a lot of nice posability. You can get it in some cool action poses. Something that none of the other mechs, to my knowledge, do. You can turn the torso. You can actually move it where the waist, with the waist joint. So that is really nice there. The shoulders can move up and down. Obviously, the arm is the same on the other side. And you can also take off this large, blade piece and turn it maybe into a jet if you wanted to. It's not supposed to be a jet. It's just kind of there. I think it looks fine. But if you don't want it for your display, maybe it's too big to fit on your shelf, then you can just take that off and then pop it back in with a couple Technic pins right in the back. Something else is it also has these rubber stoppers on the feet to stop it from sliding around, and I think that helps gain traction on a table, so that's also a nice inclusion there. As for the Fire Knight mech, it has a lot of playability features despite being mainly a display set. Remove the minifigs out of the way, bring this forward a little. You can change the articulation of the arms. You can switch the way the spear is being held. You can also take the mech itself off the stand. And it also has thigh posability, knee posability, which is very nice. Ankle posability is there. You can move the ankles forward and back. You can change the way that the arms are positioned. There's not a lot to say. It's a lot of the similar features. There's also this cape, which, again, if you don't want it, you can just take it off. But I think this has a lot of the head can move. You can open the cockpit to fit your Kai minifig in, or I guess any minifig of your choosing. And yeah. So for the playability category, I gave the Samurai Mech 6 points. I gave Lloyd's Titan Mech 5 points due to the fact you can take that back part off and have it as an additional little flyer. Jay's Titan Mech got 4 points. Cole's Titan Dragon Mech got 3 points due to the fact that it has a crazy amount of posability for something that doesn't include anything for it to fight. It gives it a lot of dynamic posing, and I think it looks really good. 2 points goes to Zane's Titan Mech. There's not a lot there. There's no weapon for it to hold. There's no side build for the villain to fight. And unfortunately, I had to give 1 point to the Fire Knight Mech. This was a display set. It's not meant to really be played with. It has some playability features. The cape kind of gets in the way of some of it. Unfortunately, I had to give it 1 point. So for the overall looks category, I split the 6, 5, and 4 points categories into 5 points each. 5 points to Lloyd's Titan Mech, and 5 to Cole's Titan Dragon Mech and the Fire Knight Mech. I think they look incredible. I love the color combinations on all of them and the way you can get them to pose. 3 points goes to Nia's Samurai X Mech. I like the color combination. I like the bright blue. I don't love the red X as I've mentioned before, but you could just take that off and I think it would probably be fine. 2 points goes to Jay's Titan Mech. I love the large swords. That gives it just a better look overall, and I think it looks good like that. And then 1 point to Zane's Titan Mech Battle, because again, I don't like the pointy parts towards the top of the mech. Now for the Gibblade opinion section, I gave 6 points to Lloyd's Titan Mech. I got this set early in 2019, back before it was released in the US in August. I have a lot of good memories with this set, and that's going to give it the 6 points in this category. 5 points is going to go down to Cole's Titan Dragon Mech. I think it looks incredible. I love the way it looks. I also got this one early last year. I think it just looks incredible on display, and it's a great mech. 4 points is going to go to the Fire Knight Mech. Kai is my favorite ninja, so there might be a little bit of bias there. I like the display aspect of it. I think it looks really, really nice on display. The minifigs are okay. The cape is nice, something we've never seen before. We'll talk more about that in the review of the actual Fire Knight Mech itself. 3 points goes to the Samurai X Mech. Crystallize is an underrated season in my opinion. A lot of the Ninjago community seems to hate it. I like the Samurai Mech. $120 for this, with all the exclusive minifigs and the playability that you get, is definitely a good value there. I gave 2 points to Zane's Titan Mech Battle. It is a remake of the Titan Mech Battle from Possession. I like the inclusion of the Golden J minifig. I wish there would have been a couple more minifigs. That's the thing that kind of held it back a little bit in the end, but I also don't love the pointy parts at the top. And getting the 1 point is Jay's Titan Mech from Core. I don't think it's a bad set by any means. It's actually a pretty solid set overall, but I don't like the Core wave as a whole. I wish they would have just jumped right into Dragon's Rising sets instead of having a gap between Crystallize and Dragon's Rising Season 1. I've tallied up all the points. Let's find out who the winner is. In last place is Jay's Titan Mech from Core. I don't like the minifigs in this set. I think it's a fine set if you have a chance to get it. If you're a Jay fan, you're gonna like this set. The thing I like the most about it is the large sword. I don't like the minifigs, as I mentioned. I don't like the shoulder cannons. I don't like the weird part that hangs off the back of the head and neck. It's a fine set. It's not bad by any means, but it did come in last place with 14 points. In 5th place, beating out the Jay's Titan Mech by 1 point, we have Zane's Titan Mech Battle. The thing that really holds this one back is the design and overall looks. I don't like the pointy pieces at the top. Like I mentioned, I don't like just the way that those angles come together. I don't think it looks terrible by any means. It's definitely better than the original Titan Mech. I wish it just would have been a little bit better. In 4th place is the Fire Knight Mech with 18 points. I think it's a really good set. Don't get me wrong, I love a lot of things about it. The thing that held it back is the value. $120 for this set. You get a lot of large pieces. You get the new cape print. You also get the box art, which is new for this style of set. It doesn't really count towards anything. I didn't talk about it. but it is something that will probably jack up the price. The large pieces for the base, the printed pieces, the printed cape included. Overall, it's a solid set. If you're a Kai fan, you're going to like this mech, but it falls in 4th place for me. In 3rd place with 23 points is Cole's Titan Dragon mech. It only has one minifig, and that is a problem. There's nothing for the mech to fight. It does look incredible on display. It is probably the best looking out of all of these, in my opinion. Only one minifig is going to hurt a set. Any set, really. In 2nd place is Nia's Samurai X mech from Crystallize. I love the minifigs in here. You get 6 exclusive ones. The playability here is fantastic. The knee posability is very nice. That is something I didn't mention that I liked about Zane's Titan mech when I was talking about where it placed. I think this mech is incredible. The red X is the one negative thing I have to really say about it. $120 is a little steep for it as well. But with the amount of exclusive minifigs, I think I can let this one pass. And in 1st place, with 32 points, Lloyd's Titan mech from Secrets of Forbidden Spinjitzu. This one, I think, is probably one of the best sets of 2019, if not the best. I have it pretty high up on my list. We'll talk about that later in the year. The minifigs included are really nice. I like the Forbidden Spinjitzu Zane. I like his tornado piece. $80 is very fair for this, and I have a lot of good experiences with this set. The posability is nice. I don't like how it gives the illusion of knee joints when there aren't any knee joints. That's the one negative I have to say about it. But overall, this set wins this video. Let me know what your favorite of these mechs is in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this. I put a lot of time into setting all these up and making this video, so a like would also be appreciated. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. This is Jim80304, signing off. Bye.